Senator Alex Padilla is joining me now from Capitol Hill. Hi, Senator. Thank you so much for being here. Where do the negotiations with Republicans stand right now?
So, hi, Dana. Thanks for having me back. And look, they're ongoing. And as you can imagine, in any situation like this, there's the parallel conversations of process, procedure. This bill that's sent to us by the House just went down, didn't have even the majority of votes. And so that opens the door for separating the Homeland Security bill from the rest. That's really the focus, Homeland Security funding. We cannot, in good conscience, give this Trump out of control, militarized Department of Homeland Security any additional resources until we put some of these accountability measures in place. And in your chart, we're not asking for anything crazy. This is actually standard practice in most state and local law enforcement agencies. We're talking about the use of body cameras, officers having to identify themselves, right? No masks up, no lack of identification, no coming out of unmarked vehicles. They have to abide by judicial warrants, no roving patrols. And in the event of shootings or other excessive use of force, like we've seen in Minneapolis most recently, there have to be credible, independent investigations and accountability for officers when warranted, and not, go along with the rhetoric coming from the president and the vice president that these officers have complete immunity. That's simply not the case.
And Senator, how are you going to know, and when are you going to know whether or not this is something that really can be agreed upon, because the clock is ticking, and we're obviously just talking right now about funding, because you're saying that you're going to find a way to separate out the rest of the government funding for DHS. Senator Thune, the majority leader, said that talks are going in the right direction. Do you see it that way?
Well, I will know when we see it, and it's again incumbent upon Republicans to play ball with us and negotiate some real, tangible, meaningful reforms. So far they are. And look, I'm talking not just to my Democratic colleagues, a number of Republicans who know we need to do something. And I think the votes are there. But Dana, this is nothing new. This is not coming down to the last 36 hours. You look at my home state of California, my hometown of Los Angeles, which was the test case for this ICE CBP DHS surge last summer. We've known that their indiscriminate immigration enforcement operations, this mass deportation agenda, has only gotten more extreme, more aggressive, more physical, more violent, to the point of the shooting and the killing of 2 United States citizens who are demonstrating their right to be out as observers and to assist when these raids were going on. When is enough for Republicans to stand up to Trump? How many more citizens need to die? How many more videos do they need to see before they recognize and act on reining in this DHS?
Senator, I want to ask you about something that my colleague Lauren Fox, who I know you know from covering you on Capitol Hill, was talking about here, which is, and you mentioned this, when we put up on the screen the list of demands, it's very specific, not a hugely long list. Is this a political, tactical lesson that you and fellow Democrats have learned over the past year to ask for gettable things that you can sort of, show the base that you have succeeded and been victorious on?
No, look, I think we're focused for this moment with this leverage that we have on the spending bills. This is not a substitute for more significant policy and changes to the law that are necessary. We know we need to modernize our immigration system overall, whether it's how people may choose to try to come to the United States, how do we enforce and focus only on the dangerous, violent criminals that the Trump administration talks so much about, but that's clearly not their focus. But we know we need something in this moment to address what's happening in Minneapolis and sadly in communities across the country, not just there. And Dana, I can't let this interview end without making this point. What's it all for? What's it all about? When the Attorney General body sent a letter to Governor Walz saying, we'll remove these immigration officers from Minnesota if you meet these 3 demands, including hand over your voter rolls. You put that side by side with the FBI raid in Georgia yesterday, taking 2020 election materials. Are they still trying to find 11,000 more votes in Georgia? It's based on conspiracy theory. A lot of these efforts are simply to try to rig this upcoming November election to hold on to power. We need to stand up to that.
I do want to ask you quickly about what Tom Homan, who's now in charge of Minnesota, said about ICE and CPB. He did say that they're working on a drawdown plan, but he also, and he said that they're going to more narrowly target their deportation operations. But he also talked about Congress and what the protesters should really be doing instead of being in Minnesota, should be protesting you all in Congress. Let's listen to that soundbite.
For the people out there who don't like what ICE is doing, if you want certain laws reformed, then take it up with Congress. Again, ICE is making this up. They're enforcing laws enacted by Congress and signed by the president. If you don't like what ICE is doing, instead of protesting this building, go protest Congress.
The point he was making was also about the people he calls agitators, and that part of why things have gotten out of hand is because of the clashes between people who are upset about the operations and the law enforcement who have been on the ground.
Yeah, what seems to bother him is people who are trying to exercise the First Amendment rights. There's no conflict between, bringing your perspectives and desires to Congress versus, protesting peacefully.
In fairness, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he did say that he's okay with First Amendment, but he was talking about when things get more aggressive.
Yeah, but will he also stand up for Second Amendment? Will he also stand up for the Fourth Amendment? Warrantless detentions and arrests are part of the problem here. And, excuse me if I take what Homan says with a grain of salt. This is a guy who was caught on tape by the FBI receiving a $50,000 bribe for future contracts. So it was welcome news when Bovino was sent home, but to be replaced by Homan, that doesn't reassure me. Our monitoring is going to continue, and we're going to continue to push for true oversight and accountability for Trump's out-of-control Department of Homeland Security.
Senator Alex Padilla, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana.